Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at those questions. Some people says this questions. Okay, that's fine. This question should not take you more than 10 minutes. So here's what we're gonna start out with these questions. And we're gonna start another one. So, and then we're gonna go to that one. Wait. Okay, so here. So we're gonna start this one. And we say, okay, let's look at these questions. And you can try to see how many points you will earn. Write an equation tangent line. So equation tangent line, you should always write down this. It's just algebra 1. Right? And best yet is y minus 0 equal to m times x minus 1 because the point initial condition 1, 0. Usually I write down in terms of this. Yes. It doesn't matter. But I usually solve for y, so I always start with point slope form. Any questions here? Dy dx, when x equal to 1 and y equal to 0 is gonna give you e to the 0 times 3 times 1 square minus 6. So that's 1 times 3 minus 6. That's equal to negative 3, right? Am I doing my math correctly? Are we okay here? Am I doing okay so far? Yes? Okay, I got you guys' approval, which is good. Then all we gotta do is plug in 1.2. So it'll be negative 3 times 1.2, so it's gonna be negative 3.6 plus 3, that's equal to 0.6. Are we okay here? Does everybody get the same thing? Oh, negative, you're right. Does everybody get the same thing? Okay, right? Then dy dx is equal to e to the y times 3x squared minus 6x. Well, I'm going to move the dy of e, or I'm going to move dx to the other side. That's always something I would do first. So it'll be dy equal to e to the y times 3x squared minus 6x times dx. And I'll move dy to this side, so it'll be e to the y 3x squared minus 6x dx. Now I'm going to integrate both sides. Did you get this part? This part is the easy part, right? This one should give you a +1 here. Equation tangent line. A +1 for finding the slope, and +1 to get extra values. And rest of them you should get 6 points. So you should get 3 points out of 9 if this question is given. But how do I do integration of dy of e to the y? You don't know?
Because like the integral of ey is just ey.
Yeah, but the problem is not integral ey.
So it'd be like negative because it's 1 over ey. Or like ey power 6.
You should rewrite as e to the negative y dy. Did you rewrite that? Okay, so if you rewrite that, then u equal to negative y. So u equal to negative y, du equal to negative dy. So it'll be e to the u, right? And it's gonna be negative. Is equal to 3x squared minus 6x. Now I'm gonna do integration of negative e to the u, so it'll be negative e to the negative y is equal to x cubed minus 6x squared over 2 plus c. negative e to the negative y equal to x cubed minus 3x squared plus c. Is that okay so far? I hear you should get some breakdown of points. This one should get +1. This part you should get +1. This part you should get +1 and a +1 minimum. I think this is 3 point easily. If you solve for it, negative x cubed plus 3x squared plus c, I change it all the time. I do natural log both sides. So be negative y equal to natural log of negative x cubed plus 3x squared plus c. And I got y equal to negative natural log of negative x cubed plus 3x squared plus c. And this changed to negative. Are we okay here? That should give you another point. And if you plug in the initial condition, which is 0, 1 here, will be y equal to negative natural log. Y is equal to 1. Natural log of the c, right? Because I plug in 0 for x. Oh, it's 1 for x, sorry. My bad. What am I plugging? I'm plugging 1 for x. So this is 0 is equal to negative natural log of negative 1 plus 3 plus c. E to the 0 is 1 equal to negative 1 plus 3 plus c. This one is going to be negative 1 plus 3, so it'd be 2 plus c is equal to 1. C is equal to negative 1. Are we okay here?
Wait, why did you go from 0 equals negative ln to 1 equals, like, are you...
Okay, so let me redo that again. So maybe it's kind of confusing. So I'm gonna plug in initial condition, which is 0, equal to negative ln of 0, no, sorry, 1, negative 1 plus 3, right? Plus c, right? So I'm gonna do negative sign to both, multiply negative sign on both sides, still 0 equal to ln of 2 plus c, right? E to the both sides. So 1 equal to 2 plus c, right? I multiplied both sides by negative.
Oh, you're multiplying e to both sides.
Not multiply e to the power both sides after we multiply by. Yeah, after this part is e to the both sides. E to the 0 is 1. C is equal to negative 1. So it'll be y equal to negative natural log of 0 to the negative extra 3 plus 3x squared minus 1. Is that okay? Sarah, do you got this? Everything? Before I go over it? It's good. So you will earn all 9 points. I'm gonna go to the other one is really quickly, so let me see if I can do that. And I'll go over the last one. So I'm gonna import this to Notability, add assistant, import file, import, done. This is the question, that's how a slope field is gonna look like. And like I said, they don't give you something very difficult. You just had to plug in some x and y's and dy dx. And like I said, usually give you 6 coordinates, so it's not that bad. So think about where's zero slope first. Where's zero first slope first?
At 0 and 2.
Well, should have, but it's not. It's when y go to 0. When y go to 0, then it could be 0, 0, and 2, 0, right? So those are the slope like this. You're already gonna earn 1 point for this. Super easy. Are we okay here? Now I just plug in the other point. So let's do 1. No, sorry, 0, 1. So what happened with 0, 1? What'd you say? So it'd be 1 square over -1, right? So it'd be -1, right? So this part is -1. And what happened is 2, 1. 2, 1 is going to be 1 square. And 2 minus 1, so it's 1. So it's this way. Is that okay? And plug in 0, 2. What am I going to get? No. Well, 2 squared is going to be 4. 4 over -1, right? So -4. So it's very steep negative slope. Maybe something like this. And what happened? 2, comma 2. What is 2, comma 2? Are you sure? Oh yeah, 4. Yeah. So it's this way. So that's it. So this give you 1 point. And this give you 1 point. So almost worth it to get 0 slope first to earn that for sure 1 point. Which just think about when dy dx is equal to 0, and that's how you earn that 1 point. So there's 2 points here. Now go to the next one, approximate 2.1. Oh my god, we already did this like several times. I'm just gonna be autopilot this. Y minus 3 is equal to m times x minus 2 because the initial conditions here. Which is 2, 3. I'm gonna plug in the slope dy dx is equal to 3 square over 2 minus 1. So that's equal to what? 9 over 1, so it's 9, right? Did you get that? That's good. That you already earned 1 point. And plug in y equal to 9x minus 18 plus 3, so is equal to 9x minus 15. So that is going to be the slope-intercept form. Now plug in 2.1. 9 times 2.1 minus 15. Well, that's equal to 18.9, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah.
Minus 15, so that's equal to 3.9. Is that hard? Hey, piece of cake compared to my test. It's cake. Huh? I got what? Yeah, it's way easier than my test. It's like the potato question. The potato question is kind of challenging. Okay, so then find a particular solution differential equation. Well, that's the keywords particular solution. Now, if you realize that potato question didn't say that, it worded a little bit different, but then you have to get used to that as well. So find particular solution, which is find y. And how do I find y? Well, dy dx equal to y squared over x minus 1. So this should becomes either autopilot situations. If I multiply dx on both sides, it'll be dx over x minus 1. Integrate both sides is going to be -1 over y, I think.
Yes.
Because that's integration of y to the -2 dy. So that's going to be natural log of x minus 1 plus c. Questions? Is it good? Okay, so I'm gonna multiply by negative sign on both sides. That's just me. Negative x minus 1 plus c. And I flip both sides, so it's y equal to 1 over negative natural log of x minus 1 plus c. Any questions here? I flip simultaneously. Numerator, denominator, flip. Plug in 3 and 2, right? Or 2 and 3. I don't know what I plug in. 2, 3. I don't know where to see. So 3 is equal to 1 over negative natural log of 2 minus 1 plus c. So what's 2 minus 1? 1. What's natural log of 1?
0.
Right. 3 equal to 1 over 0 plus c. So c is equal to what? 1 over third. So y equal to 1 over negative natural log of x minus 1 plus 1 over third. Don't try the big Q on AP exam. Leave it like that. You already got C. You're done. Yeah?
Oh yeah, negative 1 over 3. Because it's negative.
Oh, you're right. Wait, hold on a second. Did you get a different answer?
No, I got that answer. Like, my denominator is the opposite of yours. So, just the negative sign switch. It's the same thing, right? It should be. I got the same thing, yeah.
You should get C equal to 1 third, right? Yeah, but what if negative 1's on the top? If you flip both sides, the negative sign should be on the bottom because that is going along with natural log. And that's what I believe. But if you have 1 on the top,
Why would that work? Because it's back where you have like negative 1 over y or x minus 1 plus c.
well, if you multiply by negative sign on both sides, you should get negative 1 over y equal to negative natural log of x minus 1 plus c. And then when you flip both sides, the negative sign should be belong to the bottom.
What if you flip both sides before you move the negative and you just don't move the negative at all? Because that gives you a different result. That would leave the negative.
I actually don't understand what you're saying, but give me a second. Yes.
No, I think it's like if you multiply the y to the other side, like the whole thing, and then divide the y on the other side, wouldn't the negative be on the one still?
Yeah, it'd be on the 1.
That's what I did. Yeah.
But you got the same answer as me.
No, I got a negative 1/3.
I didn't solve for y. I just left it in the negative 1 over y and then plugged in. And I got negative 1 over 3.
Yeah, but if you multiply by y on both sides, divide by both sides by negative natural log of x plus minus 1 plus c is still gonna be negative on the bottom though.
What I did is I moved, so when it was
Did you get the same answer as me? No, you got different answers. So what did you do?
when I moved, instead of moving the negative 1, I just divided both sides by and multiply both sides by 1. Negative 1.
So I usually, when I solve a y, I get rid of negative sign first. So I always multiply toward the other side.
Okay, but why would that like affect that should
I was gonna say, I think you can get the same thing using different results, man.
I think you get same result. Kevin, can you do it the other way on the board? Yeah.
It's the same thing,
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's
I
just
just
technically
can't
not
tell.
like
It's changing.
1/3, it's negative 1/3.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But
Yeah.
it's still like the same thing.
Yeah, C can be different. Sometimes depending on where you plug in the initial conditions. So we're actually going to talk about that when we deal with potato questions. And but anyway, C is equal to 1/3, so you should get this one is equal to 1/3 here. And you don't want to try to be cute there. Well, actually, I already have a seed right here. I mean, on a scoring guideline, they will actually give it to you. Now let's go to the potato questions. So let's talk about when we have this question at 1997, my student took it. The psychology is very important for you guys to understand testing psychology. The bad teacher like me usually put hard question at very beginning. A good easy teacher usually put easy question in the beginning and gets progressing harder. And so you should practice both, because mentality is gonna hurt you in the long run if you always get used to first question is easy. And when they give you first question it's hard, then you start struggling. Because you cannot handle the things. I will say this one time. The testing is AP test is not an ability test. It's a mentality test and endurance test. Okay, so it's always about endurance, it's not about abilities. If you have a tough mentality, or the way Luca put it, it's alpha mentality. Yes, you do need an alpha mentality when you handle those exam if you want to get a 5. And so you have to stay tough on your mind, whether they give you a question, the first question is hard or easy. So what happened is they give you this question on question 4. They should have done is give you this question on question 6. But when they give you this question on question 4, my student give me feedback is after this question, they are done. They're exhausted mentally. They just cannot fight any further. And that's why that year I didn't have a very, very particularly good result, but that was the first year I taught AP Calc. That year I had a 73% pass rate, so it's actually not bad, but it was awful compared to my last 2 years. But that was the first year I taught it, so I have perfect excuse. So the mentality you have to overcome is even question is hard at the very beginning, you should be able to overcome it. And when you read a question, you cannot read it as hard as. The average of this question is 1.2 out of 9. So that means averagely 54% of them students actually have a 0 out of 9. And this becomes a main question that year, because after this question, the meme was outside the internet, it was my temperature potatoes negative 293 degree, which is absolute 0, which is the world is about to end. So there was a lot of funny meme that year because nobody had freaking clue how to do this question. But this question is no different than bear questions. That's why I went over the bear question on Friday, and this question is no different. So let's look at this question. And the way that they word it is really funny. The question is kind of difficult because there's 2 variables and they have very similar things. One is temperature, one is time. You both thought that was T, but it's not. Temperature is H of T. Time is T. Okay, so there is a small difference. There was independent variable and dependent variable. That's why students got confused and they didn't know what to start. So this H of 0 is equal to 91. So basically that just means 0, 91. And this means the temperature versus H of T. Like this. And that's the first thing you have to understand. And if you understand that, that's just no different than bear question. The bear question doesn't have, they have a bear and time. So it's kind of easy to determine which one's which. This one has temperature and time. It's kind of hard to know which one to plug in. So then they say equation tangent line, which is finding the slope first. So first thing is dH dt. When 0 and 91. So then that means I'm gonna plug in. There is no, it's not relevant to T, but it's relevant to the temperature, which is 91 minus 27, which is equal to -1/4 times 16, which is equal to -4. Does that make sense? So it'll be y minus 91 equal to m times x. Oh, m is equal to -4 minus 0. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
64 I can multiply. Thank you. 64, and that's equal to -16. So is that right? Okay, so -16 here. So y is h of t, right? So I'm gonna write down as h of t, and this t I'm gonna write it as this way. Does that make sense? I change a variable so easier to determine. So h of t is equal to -16 t plus 91, and then you're gonna plug in 3. So once you plug in 3, it's -16 times 3 plus 91. That's equal to, what is it? 48. 40. Wait, -48 plus 91. So 43. Okay, thank you. 43 degrees. You got 2 points by doing that. You're already above average. Yes. But this is the things that you don't want to get the same right question as other student. You want to get the question that you got it right and other people got it wrong. And other people that all the same questions match it up equally, only in this question you can pass them, right? So that's what you're trying to do. Your goal is to pass them. Then you say, let's take a derivative, second derivative here. So it'll be d to the dt of dH dt, which is d2 h dt 2, which is equal to d to the dt times -1/4 of h minus 27. I'll distribute that. And I know the constant's going to go away. So it'll be -1/4 of dH dt. Does that make sense? And that's equal to -1/4 times dH dt is what? Well, it's -1/4 times h minus 27. Does that make sense? I'll distribute that. So once I distribute that, dH dt, well, 2, that's equal to 1/16 positive of h minus 27. Now this question is really hard because it depends on prior informations. What do I mean by prior information? T equal to 3. It's not t equal to 0, it's t equal to 3. But when t equal to 3, what is y? Is 43, right? So -16 times 43 minus 27. So that's equal to 1/16 times 16. That's equal to 1.
Where do you get the 43?
Yeah, because they wanted t equal to 3, not t equal to 0. So this question's hard because second part is related to the first part. And if you got the first part wrong, then that's bad. But long as your first part is greater than normal temperature, which is, the normal temperature is, do you see that internal temperature is always greater than 27 degrees of all time? 20 degree temperature is 27 degree temperature is also known as standard temperature, right? It's 298, right? 25 degree, or what's STP? Kevin?
But like mean standard pressure.
But there's also temperature involved too. The pressure has to be 1 atmosphere. Temperature has to be around the normal temperature, right? Yeah, but temperature has to be standardized at 298.
It's 298.
It's 298. I
Yeah.
think because standard temperature, it has to be like normal temperature. That's in order to get that.
When you're converting Fahrenheit to Kelvin, your standard base like you add 298 to whatever your Fahrenheit is to convert whatever it is to Kelvin.
Yeah, so 25-degree probably because 273 is I forgot. I forgot my numbers. But anyway, but I could be wrong.
So by getting the answer for part B, how can we tell from there if it's an underestimate or overestimate?
Oh, good. It's positive. D2 HDT is greater than 0. So it must be concave what? Up, right? If it's concave up, what happened to the tangent line? Underestimate. Does that make sense? That's what I talk about on Friday. Why did I talk about bear question again? Because the Karate Kid situation still come in. And also it's going to matter on multiple choice as well. So that the equation tangent line idea is if it's depend on your second derivative is over approximation or under approximation, it's going to come back to bite you because that's a part if you understand or not understanding math. Let's do C. Ooh, this part is fun because they changed the equation for the first time. And not only change the equation the first time, they changed the wording. Ooh. That was disgusting. They did G satisfy this, and they say G of 0, and they say find the expression G of t. They don't actually ask you normally, says find particular equation of a differential equation. They just say, hey, can you find G of t? Well, guess what? They give you dg dt. In order to find G of t, you have to do what? Integral, right? Because this is giving to you, then they say find G of t. Guess what? G of t is the integral. So separation variables. Divided both sides. And I keep the negative sign on the right side just because I don't want to get involved with this. I didn't want to get involved with the left side with the negative. So I'm going to say that's negative 1 dt. That's another hard time that student cannot see is negative 1 dt. If integration negative 1 dt is what? Negative t. Does that make sense? What's the integration of g minus 27 to a third? Oh, dg over g minus 27 to a 2/3.
Equals G minus 27.
Yeah, but writing down doesn't give you points, but give you the right information. So what is the integration of g to the negative?
So it'd be like 1 over u to the 2/3.
Okay, good. So it'd be du u to the 2/3. What's the integration of u to the 2/3? Du over u to the 2/3. Yes, but how do you do that? You flip to the top first because you cannot take integral when used on the bottom like this, right? So therefore is u to the 1/3 times 3 is equal to negative t plus c, so be 3. G minus 27 to the 1/3 equal to negative t plus c. I'm going to divide it by 3 on both sides, so it'll be g minus 27. And this is what I have different in scoring guideline. I have like this divided by 3. And now cube both sides. G minus 27 is equal to negative t over 3 plus c to the 3. And g is equal to negative t over 3 plus c over 3 plus 27. And I have different C than scoring guideline, but doesn't mean I'm wrong. I'm going to talk about that. What's the initial condition here? 091, right? According to the question, which is right here. So 91 equal to the 0. I'm plugging 0 here, so it's going to be C to the third plus 27, right? So C is equal to 4. So I have different C than a scoring guideline, but doesn't mean I'm wrong. So G is equal to negative T over 3 plus 4 to the third plus 27. Now I'm going to plug in. I'm plugging what? They say what? T equal to 3. So that's equal to negative 1 plus 4 to the third power plus 27. So it's equal to 3 to the third power plus 27. So that's equal to 54 degrees. But 54 degree is the final answer. Not a lot of people can do this. And almost that year, I only think that there was only a handful of 2,700 applicants or 2,200, quarter million people take that exam. I think there was only like 100 people had the perfect 9 out of 9 on those questions. Very, very, very little. You think about average is 1.7. 3. 3. Because they say 3.
So if we got that answer, like on the test, but it was different from the scoring guide, will we be marked incorrect?
If you guys see differently, no. Now, if you get your final answer differently, then yeah. But your C is really dependent on when you plug in initial conditions. Because when you're not really complete with G, so the way that they did it, I kind of disagree with it because their C is equal to 12, but 12 over 3 is still 4. So technically the same C. So yeah. See if I can show you. I can show you here. But that's the same C because 12 divided by 3 is 4. But I got the same answer as well. So that C doesn't matter. Why you gotta pass? I got 5 minutes. 3. I can teach a lesson in 3 minutes. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about El Hopto rule. El Hopto rule is super easy. Oh, you can see. Okay. Still cannot see. There you go. Okay, El Hopto rule. Basically, it says there is a few different type of indeterminate form. I'm gonna give it to you. One of the most popular one is 0 over 0 and infinity over infinity. This is what AP exam is focusing on, but we're gonna talk about other things, other indeterminate form. The other indeterminate form, it could be 0 to the infinity. They're not gonna test on an AP exam. 1 to the infinity power, 0 to the 0, and the infinity minus infinity. So total there are 6, but AP exam only focus on 2. Now, we done this before. X approach to 2 of x squared minus 4 over x minus 2. We say there's a way to do it is factor and cancel. Do you guys remember that? And then plug in 2 is equal to 4, right? Does that make sense? We did that earlier. You factor the top, cancel the x minus 2. Yes. Oh, we're going to talk about it tomorrow. So now we're going to show you a second way to approach it. Oh, well. You take a derivative of the top and bottom. So if you take a derivative, so the L'Hopital rule basically says if approach to c of f of x over g of x is also limit x approach to c of f prime of x over g prime of x. Now, why is that? If I just take a derivative of the top, it's a shortcut. 2x over 1. And if I plug in 2, it's still going to give me 4. The same result, but much easier work. And you can apply L'Hopital rule more than once. You can apply twice, 3 times, if it keep on getting 0 over 0, or infinity over infinity. So tomorrow we're going to talk about the detail of that. Yes?
So infinity's concept as a number, right?
Yeah?
So if you take the derivative, that limit to be 0.
No, because infinity is still like infinity compare infinity square. Which one's bigger?
I mean, technically, you're just getting the maximum value.
Yeah, we're